All right, welcome back. We're here. We're doing a twofer. We're shooting two episodes in the same day. I wanted to talk to you about Captain Marvel, the second one, the Marvels. I think
The
is the official
Marvels.
title, dude. So I kind of gave up on the MCU for a little bit there after I watched Secret Wars or Secret Invasion. I couldn't do it anymore. After Endgame, I feel like all of these movies have been so hit or miss, and like they have good parts to them, but then the bad parts are really bad. And I don't know if I'm just thinking about it too much, but I put this movie off for so long because, for one, I didn't care about Captain Marvel that much in the first movie, and then she just seemed like a more boring Superman where she's got all his powers but none of the personality. So when they were making this second one, it's like, okay, yeah, but they got Photon from
WandaVision.
WandaVision, and then they have um,
Kamala
what's her
Khan.
name? Yeah, Kamala Khan. What is she? Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
So they got Miss Marvel in there, and I watched her show, and that was one of the first shows where I'm like, oh, I'm really getting kind of sick of these Marvel shows. So all of these three characters together in one movie is like, it's not that it's like a mainly female cast. It's like, I just don't care anymore. And I
Were
thought
you
about
were you
just,
one of those people that were upset when they did that female power pose in Endgame?
no, I mean, that was cute. I thought that was kind of cool because it's like, look, they got all the women there. They're all bad
You
at, you know,
you know what's funny about that? Uh I had to look it up what they meant. They're like, "Oh my god, they were like pandering to women. They did that power pose." I completely missed that part. I didn't realize like I remember all of them like standing up and like queuing up and stuff, but I didn't realize that it was just women. I thought it was like, "Oh, hey, these group of people are like these people are on the mission to grab the gauntlet. They're doing their like cuz when Captain America said was like he's like, "Are you gonna stand against us?" And he's like, "I'll stand alone if I have to." And like all the portals open up and everyone walks through and everyone like poses. So I was thinking, I was like, "Oh, it's just a callback to like a half hour earlier." I had no idea. Like, I just like how little I pay attention to like specific details is like
yeah.
miss
I
that this
mean,
is like, oh, this is a woman's moment kind of thing. I was like, oh, well, missed that.
it if we're directly talking about that scene, like it's a little forced. Like why would all the women be together in one little tight group? You know, why wouldn't they
Right.
all be with their respective heroes? Like why is the Wasp now with Ant Man fighting somewhere? They're the team, you know. That they're all one big team, but yeah, all the women we're just gonna go off together and fight this. Try, you know, it's a little weird if you think about it too much, but it didn't bother me in the moment.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so I don't know, like, going into the Marvels, I just wasn't looking forward to it, and I heard good things, oddly enough, which is kinda weird because you were just mentioning before the recording started, it flopped, right?
Yep. Box office wise, I just looked it up. I think they spent like 270-ish million, and I think it made 200. Here, I'll just pull it up right here. According to Wikipedia, so
Trusted
it
Wikipedia.
said the net budget was 219 million, and then the box office was 206 million. But it said that the gross budget, so I'm guessing advertising and
Yeah.
distribution and all that, was 270 million. So I mean, technically it lost like 70 million, but like I don't know, they do new math now with all these stuff because they throw it on Disney Plus, and like they don't
Yeah.
have DVD sales as much anymore because like that's for like old movies. Like you'd have the movie release, you'd get a little bit of money, like they'd make some money, but then they'd make more money on the DVD slash VHS or like Blu-ray sales. But people don't really buy physical media as much anymore.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's
like,
yeah.
and a lot of people complain for the same reason though, is like it's just so woke or whatever. It's all women. Like they don't like. Why can't they have a man in there, and so it's like a lot of complaints and stuff, and like people didn't like Brie Larson because she made a comment or something, or she's
I
just
don't
like
even
always scowling.
I don't even care about all of that, you know? Like, okay, you're gonna make an argument like they're pandering to women. I I don't really I just don't like any of these characters. Like none of these characters speak
I
to
don't
me.
care that they're women. I care that
Yeah,
they're shitty characters.
yeah, they just suck, you know? So then you put them all in one movie, and I'm like, okay, well, they better do something here. And God damn it, they did something. They gave them a personality. Like I kind of thought that was cool, you know? I watched it with Brooke, and it was like great. She actually liked it, and it's like, yeah, look, they're having fun. They have personalities, or you know, they're playing jump rope on the ship.
Yeah, to
It
train
was
them
kind
how
of
to
like
be
a yeah. I
training
think that was
montage.
cool.
I liked the movie. I thought it was good. I do agree that it gave Captain Marvel a little more personality because like her whole characteristic was I'm a fighter pilot, I'm hard, or whatever. Like I'm like tough person, like no outward emotion or whatever. And then like she was also like the super soldier for the Kree, or was it? Yeah, for the Kree for a while, forever and stuff, and like that made her even more like repressed and stuff. So I do like the fact that you find out a little bit more about her. She went on like
Past mistakes she's made and trauma and building
yeah,
up her like all the stuff we needed, which I should really go back and watch the first movie again, but I didn't. I mean, that movie was fine, but it just I don't know. I don't think they did a
best
good job with her.
best part, and I still haven't watched the Miss Marvel show. Best part of the whole show movie though, Kamala Khan. Whoever
Yeah,
that actress is, I hope she gets more work because she did. I thought she did amazing, especially with like, especially since she was working with like older adults. I don't know, is she? How old is she?
I don't know how old she is, but she was good. Like that was one of the good things I'll say about like her show is there's nothing really wrong with her. She's got personality. Like in the show, it was more animated. There was more transitional effects and paper scribbled across the screen, and it was in handwriting and cut and paste things, kind of like what you saw at the beginning of the movie, but for the whole show. And I like her family. You kind of have to have her family with her for the character to work. So
Yeah.
I like to see that they continue that. And they got the whole family back. So like that's cool. I guess the whole family's employed by Marvel now, so that's great. But
So she's actually was born in Pakistan and moved to Canada when she was a year old. Her family
wow.
moved to Canada. And she was born, and this is gonna make me feel old. She was born in 2002.
Yep,
Ugh.
yep. They yeah, people it's funny how that works,
We were
but
born in the
yeah,
90s. We were born in the last millennia.
yep. Bona fide 90s kids. I was sitting down, total side tangent, but I
Yeah.
found 3 hours of Nickelodeon on YouTube the other day, and I put it on for Brooke. We were just sitting there watching all the old commercials and 90s cartoons, and what a good time. What a good time. But,
I I have been wanting. I can't remember what it was on, but I did find some things where they're showing. I didn't get to see 90s. I saw like really old, like 80s and early, like younger, like commercials that I wouldn't really remember as a kid too much. But like I was watching old cartoon or old commercial ads, and I was like, that's pretty wild. I
yeah.
actually wouldn't mind maybe next time we get together we should watch like some
Yeah, let's do it. That it was
old
fun, and
commercials.
I
I
don't
All
know.
right,
What
so this movie plot wise I like it because it does wrap up from her first movie. Like there's an actual like through line, I feel like, from the first Captain Marvel movie to the second one. Because in the first one, she messes up their supercomputer and I don't know how, I can't remember how that affected, like she did something that affected their star and their planet's dying and they're mad. Makes sense. And they don't care how they don't care how they fix it. They just want it fixed.
Right.
So I can see the line. My biggest issue is with the villain
Yeah.
not even taking half a second to like letting them like, hey, let us try to fix this first, and then we'll go forward.
Yeah, you know, the villain, which is always the problem with these Marvel movies, they always have some kind of like boring villain. And I definitely think the villain was the worst part about this movie. I barely even remember her name, but for one, how how did they explain the whole light powers being tied together? That was a major plot hole
So
for
she
me.
was opening up these warp gates, and because uh, as I think it was because Carol had one of the bracelets. It was like Kamala has a bracelet,
Yes, she had one of the
and
bangles.
yeah, and Carol had a bracelet at the time, and it basically I think locked them into each other, like quantumly locked them. And I think the other girl, um, Photon, I can't remember her name. I'm terrible with names. Um, was entering the black hole at the time. So Carol had a bracelet, Kamala had a bracelet, and then what's her name?
It's that's a super weak.
Yeah,
That's my problem with modern Marvel, where it's like they always gotta have something that doesn't really make sense. They're just doing it. Like, it's a cool idea for a movie. Okay, they're gonna use their powers and they're gonna flip flop together, and that's a super comic booky thing to happen. But when you think back on like all of the pre Endgame movies, didn't really happen that much. Like sometimes there would be weird tonal shifts between like Thor 1 and 2, but or
every
really
Thor
from
movie
2
has a
and
weird
3,
tonal shift.
but it's like, okay, why are there you can't come up with any other way to bring these 2 together. It's like they have to have their powers mixed and then now they swap places with each other. That to me was weak. I could have went without that, but everything
I
else was
Yeah, I guess I agree with that a little bit. I think though your first part was I think the villain was the biggest issue because like I said, Carol apologized and like, hey, let me try to fix your planet or like get your sun going, and she's like, no, we got that. We're just gonna do our thing. Just gonna steal water from one planet. We're gonna steal oxygen from another planet, um, and all that. And like, I don't know, it's so ridiculous.
Darben is her name. Sorry, I
Darben.
just had to figure that out. I'm like, I can't even remember what her
What's
name is.
what's
Is that Monica Rambeau? Is that Photon?
okay,
I think.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
Yeah, Monica Rambo. See, yeah, I got mixed up because I was thinking Rambo was Carol Danvers for a split second.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, if you want to talk about if you want to talk about like thin, like ridiculous things, there's like Monica Rambo got superpowers because she walked through the
But
wall for Wanda. When
yeah,
Wanda like dispersed it, why didn't she lose her powers then?
I still am not, for as good as they did with this movie, they gave them some personality. We got more familiar with Captain Marvel. We saw more of Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. You know, two good characters. Photon is still weak. I don't think they did very much with her at all. In WandaVision, she was just a side character, didn't do that much, not
Yeah.
really
Well, she
attention
didn't
grabbing.
have her powers through most of
Yeah,
WandaVision either.
and then this movie, like, she's doing stuff, but I don't know, it's like they're just giving her powers that she's in the movie, but I don't think she really contributes a lot. I would have liked to see more from her if they were gonna put her in the movie and make her a big part of this dynamic trio. I mean, they could have done a cool little, daughter mother figure thing with, Kamala Khan and Miss Captain Marvel, but
Yeah.
then they put Photon
Well,
in there just for the heck of it. I'm like, I don't
remind
really
me
know
'cause it's
why they
been a
did that.
minute since I watched it. At the very end of the movie, does Carol or does Monica go through the portal?
Monica does.
So okay, so Monica's the one stuck in the other dimension.
Yeah, so then they split her off to her own land, and they're gonna do something with that, which is fine, and maybe that's why they put her in there because she is kind of a big plot hole from the first movie, like, Carol has a relationship with her mom, and she was gonna look after her daughter, and she didn't. So
Yeah.
that's kind of something that needed to be addressed, and I guess if she wasn't in this movie, they would leave it for another movie, but it's like, I just don't think they really did anything too cool with her to warrant her
I mean,
being in the movie.
Monica kind of has a point though, where like Carol was being the superhero across the galaxy and doesn't even bother coming back for
Yeah.
Monica. Like she did abandon her. Like
Yeah, yeah, I get why her rationale for doing it, like, she did, like, pretty much destroy a whole planet, so she's got that whole thing weighing on her conscience, like, could you imagine if you doomed, like, an entire planet to a life of, like, solace and no light and famine and just, it kind of weigh on your conscience a little bit, so she's out there trying it under her justification, she's trying to fix it before she comes
right.
back, she can't stop, fine, you're gonna be a superhero, go be a superhero, but I don't know, maybe call home or check on your family,
Send a postcard.
something.
Send
Same
a
thing with, like,
send a moon rock.
same thing with, like, Infinity War and Endgame, where it's like, yeah, she just wasn't there in the first movie. I don't know, they didn't wanna call her, it's not big enough, he's got the Infinity Gauntlet, they're not gonna call
Yeah.
in Captain Marvel, they're gonna wait till he snaps and ruins everything, it's like, okay.
Um yeah, because like it only rings oh, I'm sorry. Only paged me in event of emergency. But again, Avengers 1, not an emergency.
Yeah,
Ultron, not an emergency. Uh Thanos,
it's yeah, that's where things started getting a little bit weak, like, not that it was perfect before Endgame, but I don't
I
know, it's like
think
the minute they start going back in time and showing us stuff that happened, but somehow tied into the story, it's like, I don't that doesn't really
yeah,
work.
it's hard. I think that's for any media though. That's really any show that's really hard. I think Marvel though right now is in a really good spot for because it kind of chilled out with the TV shows and movies
Yeah. Dude,
because
it's
they
been
were
like 6 months because 'cause I'm looking here at the release schedule. So this movie came out in November of 2023.
yeah
The next movie is coming out this
August.
month, July. We
Oh,
have,
is it
yeah, it's July 26th, I
Wolverine
think.
and Deadpool?
I think so.
Oh,
I had it pulled up, but then I clicked off of it here. I'm pretty sure it comes out July 26th or 27th. I think it's the 26th because that would be Friday.
okay.
And then, so, I mean, I think that'll be good. But yeah, they definitely needed to cool it because those TV shows, even with Star Wars, it is literally killing me, and I can't watch. I can't do it. It's too much.
I stopped with Star Wars. I didn't watch The Acolyte. I didn't watch what's a I don't know. It's
The
been a
last one
minute.
I watched was the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and after that,
I
I'm like,
watched that. I watched that was the last one I also watched.
it's just too much, like, it would be one thing if they did these shows and they were spectacular, but they're coming out being, like, borderline good is not warranted at all, and then the rate where they're pumping them all out like this, it's like, nobody has time for this. Who wants to watch all of these shows that are basically good if you
I
kinda, like, squint at them?
I think their biggest goal was to build content for their streaming
Yeah,
sites.
yeah,
But all right, we should
that's terrible.
spring back to the Marvels.
Sure, sure.
I really like Kamala Khan. and it almost makes you want to go watch a TV show because I never watched that.
Yeah,
Um, though I did watch like the first episode, and what she does to her father in that first episode breaks my heart almost.
yeah,
Because the
it's
dad dresses up as the Hulk, and they're like, "All right, here's a costume for you, and I'm the Hulk," and they're like, I can't remember what she says, but basically just breaks her dad's heart, and I'm
yeah,
like, "Oh
yeah, yeah.
no!"
I that's the one thing I wish they would do more with the shows is focus on like the smaller heroes and stuff because I didn't like that show that much, but they did a good job with it. Where and the Hawkeye show is another example of that, where it's like smaller hero, smaller story, more grounded, taking it all the way down to the home level, where it's like the hero trying to just be a hero and be at home and be present
Yeah,
with parents. Like that's a cool idea. That would
I
be a
was
much better way to explore the shows.
I my the show I was most excited for, and I like. I didn't like towards the end because it got really meta, and like I guess that's I don't know a lot about She Hulk, but I
Yeah,
guess in the comic book she just fourth wall breaks all the time.
yeah,
Wasn't a huge fan of that part. My favorite part was anything to do with procedural trials,
yeah,
where she had to help with the divorce settlements for a man with immortality or copyright infringement or like faulty equipment for the leaper where he
yeah.
puts like the wrong type of fuel into his like costume, so he's suing the costume designer. Like that
Mhm,
was a great
mhm.
episode. When she's trying to bail out Abomination and prove that he's like rehabilitated. Like
Yeah.
I would
Like,
love a show focused solely on superhero lawsuits. I think that'd be
if
great. I think it'd be super
if
funny, and it'd be cheaper because it focus and like because if it focused just on the courtroom and then just show like pictures of like so you say that you don't know anything about this bank robbery, but here's photos of you ripping the bank vault out of the bank.
Yeah, is this can you tell me, is this you fighting Captain America? Do you remember this? Because we
Yeah,
have it on photo.
that
Yeah.
I would love a show like that. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that's if we could do it all again, I think that's where the shows would be better, where it's like, yes, they're in the universe, maybe they're playing off what happens in the movies, but you don't have to see them to understand what's in the movies. Where they were some of the things they were trying to do were crazy. Like WandaVision, good show. They kind of like squandered it at the end. Same thing like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. I respect what they were trying to do, but they totally flubbed it.
I
Big
I really
stories
like.
like that should be on the screen, big screen,
Yeah.
movies, not small little streaming TV
I
show.
think one of the things that someone pointed out to me was that they're not writing TV shows; they're writing long movies.
Yeah,
Because, like, I
yeah,
think that's one of the problem is like they need to get different writers in, like writers or show producers that are for long form content.
yeah,
Not just pull people from like, oh hey, you worked on Captain America, write Captain America Winter Soldier, like write me
right.
like
Yeah, some of those episodes, it's like you'd watch them and it's like, okay, there nothing happened the whole episode. I've been bored and now it's over. Great. I look
yeah.
forward to next week. Thanks, guys. Great. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is good that they're taking a step back. I think it's good they're focusing more on the movies, and it seems like they're kind of upping the quality because if you look at the last list of movies here, like since Endgame, we've had quite a few movies out,
Ant
but
Man,
in the last,
Quantumania,
like
um,
Quantumania was good. It had some problems with it, but I liked it. Guardians
Doc
3, good.
Doctor. They had Doctor Strange, Matt Multiverse
That one did. I'm so sad with
Madness,
that movie. That movie. Oh my god.
Spider Man, No Way Home. Spider Man one that was
That was
good.
a good one. Yeah, that was a good. It
Um,
was also had problems though, but it was like I think the good totally outweighs the bad in that
so
movie.
I heard that they did those movies out of order because of COVID. COVID messed it up.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be the Doctor Strange movie, or I can't remember. I
I know
can't remember
Doctor
the exact
Strange
order,
got all
but
messed up.
it got the like Spider-Man, WandaVision, and the Doctor Strange movies were supposed to be in a specific order, and it made more sense in that order.
Yeah.
Um,
See, like, it's not the order of the movies, it was, like, the content of the movies that bothered me where it's like, Multiverse of Madness was I remember following that movie for a while, and it was supposed to be like a horror movie. It was supposed to be scary. It was supposed to be Marvel's first horror movie, and then we get it, and they have, like, some parts of that, like, Sam Raimi directed it, so they got some of the Evil Dead, like, zombie walking and weird camera pans and stuff, but it's like,
I don't know. Did you
Wanda
see Wanda
wasn't
take out
scary.
the council
Yeah, it
where Black
like
Bolt lost his mouth and his head just went?
yeah, they had some, like, gory parts in there, like, you can see a little bit of it, but I don't know if they just got cold feet at the last minute and they're like, "Let's water this down. We can't have horror in a Marvel movie," but
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
that's part of it though too. Is like they have to like protect the property or like their intellectual property and stuff. Like they can't really take be too
They
risky.
they do and they don't because they are also making a Blade movie. They're gonna make a Blade movie, and it's gonna be awful if they do that because what you wanna see
Yeah,
him totally
but the
murdering
difference is
vampires.
the blade though. That's like that's gonna be different because like that's almost gonna be its own thing.
Yes and no, because he was in the post credits of the Eternals. You know? So if he's
I did
in
not
that,
know
he's
that.
yeah, if you watch, like, the whole thing with the Black Blade from the Eternals, that's Blade's voice talking,
Oh,
in that so it's like they're doing this stuff, and if they're
well,
gonna just
if it
water
makes
it
you
all
feel
down,
better, they're not doing an Eternals too because I think Eternals did so bad that they weren't gonna.
dude, that also makes me sad because I really like I think I might be the only one on the planet that really liked the Eternals movie.
I enjoyed
I thought
it.
it was
I
cool.
thought it was too long.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Because
long
like
like
that at that point, I think I watched so many like 2.5, 3 hour plus movies or whatever, and I'm just like shorten it up, like trim some of the
yeah.
fat,
Yeah.
like
I
get
liked
to the
how
point.
Eternals it felt like slow brooding, they were trying to play it up like more of a character drama, I think, as you were watching it. It's more about this group interacting with each other, which I kinda liked. I kinda dug it, and then it came out and everyone hated it, and people
Yeah,
make fun
I
of me
thought it
for
was
liking
fine.
that movie, so
To
yeah,
be fair, I like almost everything I watch. There's very few where I'm watching something and I'm like I hated that. So you have to be really bad for me to be
yeah.
like that was a waste of my time or that was miserable.
I haven't really hated any of these movies. I've just really been annoyed by some of the choices they've made. But I'm kinda the same way where as long as it's, like, pretty good, I'll like it, and if I don't like it that much, I just won't think about it again, like, I don't know, but
Right.
yeah, I wanted to talk to you because I got back into Marvel with the Marvels. I finally watched it, and, maybe we'll do something on Deadpool after that comes out. We both have a chance to see it, so
Yeah, I'd love to. I think that'll be a
alright.
lot. I think people need to like. It's going to be a very silly movie. I think because it's Deadpool and Wolverine and stuff. So
Where
I
do you
think there's
think
going to be a
it's
lot
gonna
of
stack
sexual
up?
innuendos. I think there's going to be a lot of goofiness.
How do you think it's gonna stack up as far as ranking the 3 Deadpool movies? Is it gonna be the best one, worst one, somewhere in the
I
middle?
don't think it's. I don't think it's going to be number two. I think is the best one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I think that's the worst one, but I haven't
Really?
watched them in so long, yeah.
The first one, I don't know. I don't really. The first one just is this is a superhero origin story, like that's all right.
Yeah,
But I thought there was a lot of really great scenes in the second one. I really liked it, and I think the third one is just gonna try too hard.
yeah. See, that's
I'm
kinda what
still
I thought of the
still
second
gonna
movie.
love
I
it. I'm still gonna watch it and enjoy it. But
I thought the
I
second
think
one came out, and I thought they were trying too hard. I'm like, yeah, you guys are trying to copy the first one. You're going totally in with all the humor and I don't know.
yeah.
I
Well,
couldn't get
that's
into
why
that.
I think I kind of like the second one because of that. 'Cause it's a little more campy, but
Yeah,
I feel like the third one's gonna go too far, where they're just gonna be like, "Well, we have to be extra, extra, extra silly because I'm Ryan Reynolds and I, as Deadpool, love Hugh Jackman. I mean Logan,
yeah,
Wolverine,
yeah. Well, maybe
stuff like
that's
that."
because I did watch that second movie twice. Not that that's like a lot, but I watched the first version of the movie, and then I heard they did that PG-13 version. So then I went and watched The Princess Bride, so I understood the reference, and then I watched the PG-13 because it's basically him reading the book of Deadpool 2 to the guy from A
The
Princess
Christmas
Bride.
version, I like the Christmas one, but that's the first movie, isn't it?
No, I think that's the second one. They redid the second one. I'm pretty sure. Let me look here.
Maybe they
Deadpool
did.
2, Princess Bride. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the second one. Because the first one was rated R, and then the second one they made the PG-13 version. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's for the second one. So I don't know.
I'll have to rewatch the PG-13 one. I thought that was funny. I thought they did a good job. I just like the interaction between Ryan Reynolds and Fred Savage.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing
And
in
and
here?
like picks on they like pick on Nickelback and it's like, "What's wrong with Nickelback?" And he talks about like all their awards and stuff.
Yeah. Dude, people shit on Nickelback for no reason. I think Nickelback's great.
I listen to Nickelback. I like it.
Yeah. Rip.
I listened to it in high school, and then I stopped because everyone was making fun of it, so I started
Yeah.
making fun of it, and then people
I
stopped
did the
making
same
fun of
thing.
it, so I was like, "All right, I can listen to Nickelback again."
Yeah. Now I got to this point where it's like, you know what? Why did I hate Nickelback? They're great. They have so
Yeah,
many good songs. Totally uncalled for. Um, and you know what else is great? The Marvels.
yeah.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Until next time, we will see you later. Goodbye. This video is brought to you by your support on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/grouchygus94 to help support the channel.